Hey everybody, I'm Mars Girl. You're watching another episode of Seeing Sentai. Today we're looking at Himitu Sentai Goranger. We're specifically looking at episodes number 22 to 28. This again, hopefully, is going to be a short episode. I'm really hoping it's not going to take us all that much terribly much time. You might notice, again, my surroundings are a little bit different. I am currently on the set of the Atop the Fourth Wall movie, and I have kind of enclosed myself in a very echoey space. It's a changing room, and I am away from a ton of people. I would have totally done this with a whole bunch of other people, but nobody else is watching this along with me. They really wouldn't have had any idea, any understanding of what it was I was talking about. So, let's talk about stuff. So we've gone through a number of brand new monsters from the Black Cross Army. All these monsters are still under the rule of General Temjin, so he's kind of a carryover from last week, and he's instructing some brand new monsters to do brand new stuff. So that includes, as I kind of read them off here, Wire Mask, Razor Mask, Lamprey Mask. Lamprey Mask was kind of interesting. He had a total of 8 eyes, and he could like rocket those eyeballs out from his own head and then make them explode. It was kind of weird. Vein Mask, or you might also see him sometimes referred to as Blue Vein Mask, although if I understand correctly, the term Blue Vein is kind of redundant in Japanese. And then Iron Claw Mask and Iron Comb Mask. And Iron Comb Mask makes this the second monster whose theme was based on a comb, or he had a comb-based weapon, so that's kind of not new. We did have some carryover from last week where we were talking about the Atlantis airship, and so the the Black Cross Army, excuse me, there's a lot of iron dudes here. The Black Cross Army still had that Zeppelin that was discovered as being part of Atlantis, and they kept trying to use it to create an earthquake underneath Mount Fuji and try and completely explode and demolish Japan. Again, I don't know why it is they want to do this. It's just clearly, this is such an evil thing. You better get behind the Gorangers, because the Gorangers totally are going to save the day and Japan's not going to sink. So they tried that a total of twice. At one point they tried to drop a bomb into Mount Fuji and make it explode, and then in another episode they try and get a bomb under Mount Fuji and make it explode. But by the end of the third episode, where they have used the Atlantean Zeppelin, the Gorangers eventually take the Zeppelin down with a Goranger Storm attack, and you guys might be familiar with that attack by now, which very sadly, has destroyed this piece of archaeological history, and they're kind of like, yeah, sorry about that, guys. But thankfully the archaeologist is like, it's cool. Really, in the grand scheme of things, this was a bunch of really bizarre kind of tactics from the Black Cross Army over and over and over again. At one point there's a very green-centric episode where, again, they just kind of show him off as being young and naive and quick to anger. A monster completely pisses him off by saying, hope I'm not interrupting your date, and then he gets all hot-headed and completely makes tons and tons of mistakes and gets himself injured, and bad stuff happens, but then he finally figures out, I know exactly how I'm going to defeat this bad guy. I'm going to make a couple of different boomerangs, and these boomerangs are going to separate into tons of different boomerangs. Like, these past several episodes, they've just invented tons of brand new abilities, like the Midomerang being able to split into multiple Midomerangs, or for some reason in this most recent episode, Red is just able to pull out some device that from his jail cell. It inflates a balloon, because Red in this most recent episode has been captured for a brief amount of time. So he inflates this balloon out of nowhere. I guess he just had it in his pocket. He inflates it and then attaches a note to it to address directly to the other Gorangers. Help, we're caught in this jail cell, and the balloon floats directly to the Gorangers, right where it needs to go. Very, very specific and very strange, and you're just meant to accept it as is, I guess. Then it turns out that the Balloon can do some new kinds of attacks, new torpedo-like attacks. Like, they shoot this bomb or this missile, it's a missile, they shoot this missile out from the variable and flying up in the sky, and then the missile goes down underground, and it's really kind of more attacking like a torpedo, and it's digging underground as if this is friggin' Bugs Bunny, right? And then it explodes this underground Black Cross Army base. Oh, we're just making up brand new things that the Balloon can do now. Same with Goranger Storm. They've invented a couple new uses for Goranger Storm. In one instance, the Goranger Storm ball does the exact same thing. By the time they've kicked the ball all the way over to Red Ranger kicks it, then the ball buries itself underground, and then it also kind of tunnels as if it's Bugs Bunny, very comically leaving this dirt mound behind it. And then the enemy's looking at this thing underground like he didn't just watch them perform Goranger Storm and didn't just watch the ball come right up to him, and they're like, huh, what's this mole doing under my feet? As if like that's a really important thing for him to be paying attention to, is like if he actually thinks it's a mole, like ignore it and go fight the Gorangers. But instead he goes, and he tries to stomp out this mole that he thinks is a mole, and then it explodes on him like a landmine, and that's the end of that guy. And then another version of Goranger Storm they used inside a really enclosed space, which was kind of interesting because the ball is bouncing all over all these different walls. And then finally, this is Goranger Storm Bite, I guess, and by the time Red kicks the ball finally, because he's always the last guy to kick the ball, then the ball turns into, like, I guess it's a stabbing turtle? I think that's what it looked like. It was really blurry and there were only a couple of really straight-on kind of shots and they went by so fast. And then this turtle, like, bites down on the face of Iron Comb Mask, and then it blows up. Like, that one was really bizarre too, and suddenly, oh, we can just do these things now. You know, don't think about it, just accept that we're able to do all of these amazingly awesome things. And really, there's not a whole heck of a lot more to talk about other than that. For the most part, they've kind of pulled back on how often they show Daita, Yellow, how often they show him eating and being fat. He still does it, but he's doing it slightly less and less. And I think most of the characters otherwise are being treated fairly well. The episodes are getting less and less fully predictable. I mean, you always know they're going to use some version of Goranger Storm, and you always know they're going to win in the end. But in the case of like this last episode, I think it's kind of interesting how so often they don't address whether or not the people who are hostages or who are separated from their families, they kind of don't address whether or not they've been rescued or they get back together with their families. They're just like, yep, the bad guys have been stopped for the day. Oh, well, then I guess that's all that's important, right? Not reuniting family members. Okay, so it's not like we've gotten a whole heck of a lot of meat or anything. It still is totally fun and totally fun to watch. It's so super clear over these past 4 weeks that like all of Toei's budget went to explosions and pyrotechnics and really kind of little else. The rest of it, the monsters are totally creative, I'm not gonna lie, and all the abilities that the Gorangers just kind of pull out of their butts are absolutely creative. It's just like, oh, you can do just about anything if you just decide you want to do them, huh? Very cool, very cool. That's about it for now, I think. This didn't need to be a really long episode. I want to absolutely thank my Patreon contributors. You guys are here in the credits. And for anybody else interested in becoming a Patreon contributor, go ahead and visit patreon.com/MarsGirl. We'll get you set up with some really, really cool things. And once I'm back from filming the Atop the Fourth Wall movie, then I'm going to be right back on track getting stuff produced for you guys who requested special request reviews. I'm really excited to get those finished. It's been way too long. I'm excited to get right back on track. Thank you very much, you guys, and I'll be seeing you next week.